We'll start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. And salutation to the Akim that's pushing his truth around the four corners of the earth with all diligence and sincerity. It's going to be a quick lesson, or try to be at least, on the Table of Nations. Because one main, well, I shouldn't say one main, but the confusion with Salakia. Part of the confusion of these scriptures is today no nation is called the same thing they were called in the Bible. Esau had, gained control of the world and called people what he wanted to call them. And the scriptures pinpoint each nation of people, because the Lord only made 18 different nations. And gave them land, and that was that. Well, this devil went around and basically changed the borders, changed the people's name, and changed the names of the land masses. And I'll get Proverbs 22nd chapter, verse 28. And it says, "Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set." And you go into the word landmark. The Strong's H1366, and it a boundary, by extension the territory, border, coast, landmark, the limit, quarter, space. So it's a territory, an area, the bounds of that land. And this devil went around and he changed the borders to where countries have enlarged or regions have enlarged, and certain areas of land have diminished. And that's clearly against the scriptures. Proverbs 22, verse 28. And he also have changed the names of the people that were mentioned in Genesis the 10th chapter. And I'm gonna read off, starting with the greatest. You have the nation of Israel, and that's pronounced Yasher Allah in the Hebrew. And it consists of Judah, which is the Negro. And it means Yahweh thanks. Yahweh thanks. You have Benjamin, which would be the West Indians, Jamaicans. And that means son of the right. You have Levi, which will be the Haitians, and that means joined to me. Simeon, and those will be the Dominicans, and it means affliction heard. You have Zebulon, which will be Guatemalans to Panamanians, and it means dwelling. You have Ephraim, which means I am fruitful. And those would be the Puerto Ricans. You have Manasseh, which are the Cubans, and it means made to forget. And Gad, which would be the North American Native Indians, and they would that means troop. Reuben, Salakia. Reuben will be the Seminole Indians, and Reuben means see, it's a son. Reuben was the firstborn of Jacob, and you have Asher, which would be the Colombians, Uruguay, and it means happy. Naphtali, those are the Argentinians and Chileans. My wrestling. And you have Issachar, which would be the so-called Mexicans, and it means he is hired. You know, and who work, who work harder than the so-called Mexicans, man. They always, got them jobs, man. Them and them Dominicans and West Indians, man, they had them jobs, man. And okay, so that's the nation of Israel. Then you have Edom, which is, the devil who kills, steals, and destroys, and who has rulership of the earth right now at this time. The so-called white man. And you have Elam, which would be those people in India. You have Ashur, will be the Assyrians. And you have the Syrians, and they are Aram. Then you have the Arabs, which their biblical name is Ishmael. They were the son of the bondwoman. And Isaac was the son of the free woman. And the blessing went from Abraham to Isaac and to Jacob. It didn't go from Abraham to Isaac to Ishmael. It went to Jacob. To Abraham to Isaac. It didn't go to Ishmael. It went to Isaac. So that's why Israel is the seed of the promise. And you have Moab, which that would be the so-called Chinese people today. You have Ammon, which would be the Japanese people of today. You have Cush, which would be the Ethiopians. And you have Mizraim, which would be the Egyptians. And you have Put, or Foot, which would be the North Africans. You have Canaan, the Canaanites would be the South Africans. Then you have Gomer, which would be the land of Turkey. The people that's originally from that land. And you have Magog, which is the Russians. You have Yavan, or Javan, and today would be known as those Greeks. Before Rome took on that identity. You have Ashkenaz, which are the Germans, and you have Tarshish, which would be the Spanish, those Spaniards. They are Tarshish. And you have Kittim, which would be Cyprus. And those are the 18 nations that the Lord put here. So that was all confusion, that the devil had to do. So you couldn't pinpoint when you read these scriptures who is who and what judgment is talking about who, and which people had a helping hand in slavery. You wouldn't be able to tell. You would read and think, oh, that was, oh, these people must not be around anymore. And that is a lie too. That they will say, oh, well, that nation of people is done away with, or they died off, or all kind of madness. Because the Lord said, I'm gonna get it. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. So the Lord said there is no end to all the people, meaning the nations that he have put here on the earth. There is no end. The first nation that's going to be extinct will be the Edomites, as the scripture says. So, if you ever heard anybody saying, oh, well, they were done away with, oh, because they said that about the Israelites. Oh, the Israelites were done away with. The nation of Edom was done away with. No. It says it right here in the Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. So, every nation is still on the earth today that was on the earth back then. But that was all a part of the confusion and the lie that had to be pushed so that Israel and the rest of the world would not know. Well, I'll say the rest of the cattle of people wouldn't know who is who. They couldn't pinpoint who is what and where is where, and what land is where. So that's what they did. They had to lie. And every nation had their chance to rule, and there was always a change, a transferring of rulership from one people, one nation of people to another nation of people, and that is what we are on the brink of, a transfer of power, of authority from wicked to righteous rulers. And with that, you're gonna have war, and that's what this World War III is about. All this is brewing up because no nation wants to be taken out of power, but it's not up to men. It's not up to men. In fact, I'll get that in Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 21. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So it's the Lord that transfer people from subjection to rulership, or from rulership into being in subjection to another nation of people. As you see today with Israel, we once ruled, we were taken out of power. We once ruled and we were taken out of power, and we're coming back into power again, through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, of course. I'm gonna jump down to 37. Thou, O King, art a King of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. So it's the Lord that give these kings their power, their strength, and their glory. Wisdom, all of that comes from the Most High. This is Romans chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh. And that word power, that is the what Allah means. It just means power. That's what God means. It's a power. But Yahweh is the name of the power of Israel. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh. Whosoever therefore resisted the power, resisted the ordinance of Yahweh. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. And a good precept is when the Lord told the apostles to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, render unto the Most High what is his, because there is a order that is set up by Yahweh to where things are going to play out the way Yahweh wants them to. Okay, a prime example, like the Black Panther Party. What they were trying to do was restore Israel and basically get Israel up out of our conditions that we were in. But it did not work because the scripture says in Deuteronomy, no man shall buy you. That word buy in that sense means no man shall redeem you. The Black Panthers was trying to redeem Israel, but that wasn't their lot. That was not what they were supposed to do. Israel was supposed to be punished and suffering for the sins and iniquities that they have committed and their forefathers. So it wasn't supposed to happen like that. Well, everything happened the way it was supposed to. No man has redeemed Israel. That is Yahweh Shah's job. That is his mission. That is what he went up on the cross for. So he's going to be the one to redeem us. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these men or leaders that were going against, they were resisting the ordinance of Yahweh. And so they were the Most High took them up out of here. And you know, I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that, I'm gonna say Shalom and the Baba Ball.